And we are live. Hey, and welcome back to Soaring Profits. It's Wednesday, and I don't know about Pat, but I'm exhausted. I had a 3
Tell me
day.
why.
I had a 3 day adventure at Wilderness Tours in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And there might have been a little bit of drinking. There might have been a little bit of fun. But it's a lovely place. I recommend anyone go there. They are not paying me, although I would gladly accept payment in a free trip. But yeah, no, it was lovely. I'm going to put together a movie here in a couple of days when I get my energy back. But I'm an old man, and for every day I drink, it takes 2 days to recover. I've learned this.
I think right now we got the whole sprinkle foreheads going there. Yeah. Like the I'm dying look.
I'm dying. Yeah, no, it was a great trip. It includes all your food, and the whitewater rafting is amazing. Like they have a guide in there telling you, what size the paddle and all that stuff. We only lost 2 people into the water.
Nice.
One was terrified when she got back eventually and stopped paddling altogether for the rest of the trip. And I get that. She just held on for dear life, white knuckled. But it was fun. Yeah, no, it was nice and warm and sunny, and I met a great group of people, and yeah, it's just a great place. There's live music every night. Nice. The food's pretty good, and this beautiful beach where you can supboard and kayak to your delight and jump off things. And yeah, right in the middle of whitewater rafting, actually, they take you to this kind of cliffy thing, and you jump off the cliff into rushing water, and it's quite terrifying, but very safe. It's actually quite good. Yeah.
So you were saying about taking my daughter. It would be something that would cover like all age groups?
Yeah. So there's 3 different levels. There's the level I went on, which is kind of mid-level. It's kind of more adventurous, kind of exciting. I don't really know what the family one is, but it's supposed to be like a little bit more. There were some young kids, like 5, 6 years old there. So I imagine it's less like turmoil rapidy. And then there's another package, which is the high something package. I can't remember what it's called, but it is literally they want to flip you in the boat every time. So those guys were in the water a lot, right in the middle of the rapids. Looked like a great time. And to be honest, if I could have, I would have booked that excursion right away. So if I ever do it again, because you're there for a couple of days, I would do 2 excursions, because it's 4 hours. You're exhausted after 4 hours because you're paddling the whole time.
Yeah.
But like I wouldn't want to do more than 4 hours in a day, but I would have done both of them. It would have been nice to.
Do they have like a guide?
Like a lot of fun.
They've got a guide that takes you through it all?
So there's a guide in the raft with you. They're at the back. They're steering and yelling at you, so you don't die.
Love it.
And you're wearing a helmet, and
so they're like
your GoPro. Sorry.
They're like your Sherpa driving you through and guiding you, and
definitely like the Sherpa, and they know the waters really well. And before each rapid, they terrify you by telling you exactly what you should do and not do. One of the rapids, it was don't swim to the boat. Your best bet is to swim to shore, but if you can't, just go into a little ball because you might get sucked under. And I was like, I just got to stay in the boat. I don't have to worry about either of those things.
So don't fall out here.
Don't fall out here. That's what I heard. I heard this is the spot you don't fall out. So I did not, and no one else did either. But no, an older man, he went flying, and a younger woman went flying, and she went far away. I didn't even know she was gone at first till someone yelled back and said, "Hey, did you notice she's gone?"
So
and they literally just, when someone's gone, they stand up, the guide stands up, they have this bag with a rope in it, and they whip the bag, and you grab onto the rope, and they drag you over to the side of the boat, and then us peasants, grab their life jacket like it's a handle, and yoink them in.
So like I don't know a lot about boats. Like I'm learning, like I'm a boat guy now, apparently, right?
I've heard.
But they say to stay in the boat. Like
that's the point of having a boat, is to stay in it for the most part.
Quite literally. the invention, kind of like the wheel, had a
Yeah.
purpose, and it was to keep people dry.
Yes.
The boat
Went out.
would float, and you'd go down. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not feeling super great here myself tonight, but like the logic of what you did all weekend seems flawed, just like on every level.
But super fun. Super fun. And then did I mention there was drinking? I don't know if you mentioned.
And I think that could be why we're all a little, I'm like emotionally drained from your weekend.
From just dealing with me afterwards,
Yeah.
really, because I've been bitchy.
Yeah.
A
wife. Been fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it sounded like you guys had a great time. The environment itself sounds amazing. It sounded like you had an interesting group of people that you went with, and the people that you met there and all that sort of thing. It sounded like that was an interesting crew.
Yeah. So I went with this group called Camping for Canada Singles. And it's not singles like dating, it's singles like, so if you and your wife, you only like camping, your wife doesn't, then you could hook up with this group. They have a bunch of events on Facebook, and you just kind of sign up and you show up, and then you meet like a ton of people you don't know and you camp with them.
Right.
So I've done it a couple of times, and every time the people there have been great because, you know, they're all like-minded. They all like adventure and camping and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. They don't understand the real purpose of a boat.
No, they don't. No, not in this case. They also don't understand that sleeping on the outside is not a good idea, but
yeah,
we do it.
It's amazing. It's amazing that we've gone full circle. Like
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I have a perfectly good home here.
Right.
But yet I went and slept in a little tent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's fun for me. I enjoy that. Yeah.
I want you to think like I think of it. It sounds insane. No, it does. It sounded like a lot of fun. And you were saying about potentially taking Harlow. I had asked her. I sent her a video clip of the Mattawa River. Right, that's what you're running.
Yeah.
Right. So I sent her a video clip that I saw on YouTube of it, and her exact words were like, "Well, maybe in a few years when I'm older, that looked like a little wild." So that says something. That's pretty cool that you guys did that and handled that.
Yeah.
And
cool. I think there's a lower level that you could definitely do. There were also people like doing kayak tours, but I think that's a school. They were like young kids, like maybe a little bit older than Harlow, and they were in the tiny kayaks running the same water I was running. And I thought, you guys are nuts, but I don't know.
Yeah, that would be cool. No.
Yeah. No, so what were you doing for the weekend besides a lot of work?
Just working, man. Got to make sure that everything gets done and kept up around here. I'm finally, some of the rentals are finally getting done. All of the damage and that sort of thing from our last storm is finally done. So all the fences are finalized.
That's good.
Damage is all fixed. Got some interior stuff done on the weekend. And then, just working away, trying to keep the boat afloat, if you will. And it was, an interesting weekend. Busy, but, kind of pleasantly busy. So my daughter had a rugby tournament that she was partaking in on Sunday, which was basically rained on the entire time. So there was a bunch of sweaty, smelly 13-year-old girls that were like covered from head to toe in mud and blood and shit and beer and awful.
With big smiles.
With huge smiles because they loved every second. Yeah, it was hilarious.
My son used to do rep soccer, and same thing. It'd be pouring rain, and all the parents would be griping, but they would be out there running through huge puddles and loving it. And in between games, we'd take them to their laundromat and throw their clothes in the dryer, and they were wrapped in a towel.
I love it. No. Yeah, so that was the weekend. So she did pretty well there. And then she's got civic holiday coming up next weekend. So she's off. It's going to be fantastic. So hopefully have some enjoyable little family time, do some cool stuff. And then, so obviously today we had some crazy stuff come out with the market. So we had Fed chair, really interesting stuff actually. So it was a bit of I'm not going to say it's a 180 quite yet, but where we are with everything is Fed chair Jerome Powell, Jay Powell, as we've romantically called him over the last little while, Pew Pew Powell. He basically came out and said today that we're starting to see things getting under control, which I was a little bit speculative of what that meant. So they ended up raising interest rates by 0.75, which unanimously people believed and thought that was what was going to come. I was kind of hoping for a 1%, a full or 100 base point increase in the rates. That would have really shocked the market. We probably would have been done with the inflation question that we otherwise still don't really have a full answer to. But it was interesting because he came out today, and the question period, the stock market, as soon as they came out and said 0.75, the stock market shot up. People are like, hey, this is good. They're getting under control. They're not hitting us with like a 5% or a 3% or a 1%. They're doing what they said they were going to do. So the market ran up in a huge way today, really rebounded. But then in his questions, he kind of reiterated the fact that right now, the questions revolved around, are we in a recession? And it does not take a rocket scientist to look around and go, people are spending less money. They're looking at alternatives to spending money, right? And he stood up there and he's kind of like, I don't think the United States is in a recession right now. And the reason is that our job market is so strong. And while I get that, I understand it, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And the reason is that you're hearing about laying off left, right, and center. You're hearing about slowdowns. The big one today. So yesterday, Walmart came out and said that they are drastically seeing per cart shopping prices drop.
Yeah.
The consumer is starting to slow down in their spending.
Yeah, and they're also buying other things, more essentials, rather than the pleasure stuff.
Right. So, and those pleasure things tend to be where your margins come from, right?
Yeah.
So this is a bit about what you'd call a lagging indicator. So as employment starts to fall because you're in a recession, so you're not going to build more of what you can't sell. You're going to start to slow down and pull back a little bit. Employment is actually a bit of a lagging indicator. So tomorrow we're going to have another one of these conversations, and we're going to talk about whether or not paper recession has occurred, where you have two back-to-back negative gross domestic product (GDP) in the economic world. So the White House has already come out and saying like, hey, 2 doesn't really mean anything. That's just like a paper recession. Until we tell you, until we tell you it's a recession, it's not really a recession. Well, it's midterms, folks. They're fighting an election battle right now because in 3 months, everyone's going to the polls in the United States to vote. So if you caused a recession, you're the piece of shit that we got to deal with.
Right.
So everyone's very political right now. So tomorrow,
I have noticed that they are spending a lot of time to deflect why we're in this position. That it's.
Do you remember the media like 2 years ago?
It's not that we're not making enough gas. It's not that the food prices are high. It's none of that, and that's all someone else's fault. I think a couple of people have said it's Trump's fault somehow. I'm not sure how that relates because he hasn't been around for a while, but I don't know. Maybe he has a voodoo doll or something.
Do you remember when like Trump would come out and he'd do a speech, and for the next 4 days they would like pick it apart in every little thing?
They would do snippets that were out of context.
Well, but now
I'm not a Trump supporter. I want to say that right now. I still aren't a Trump supporter. If you watch his full speech, he's an idiot. But they would take snippets out of context. I think that's important. Important distinction.
Well,
if they had just played the full one, they would have still got the same result. You're an idiot, but they didn't want to do that.
I disagree. I think most people who did listened to him and took value out of what he said because they elected him the president of the United States. So I get that you and your liberal bullshit have your talking point, and that's fine. But I would argue that about 100 million Americans said, "Hey, that guy's for me."
Why'd you have to do that voice? That does not help your cause at all.
Because that's the boys that voted for him, motherfucker. Right?
I just don't know what to do with you this evening. I really don't.
I feel terrible. I'm barely alive. You're barely. Look at the eyes on all of us.
I know. Mine are glassy and tired. And ones of people are watching this right now.
Tens of people.
No, ones.
10.
10.
No, yeah. We always.
You're absolutely right. They right now they're in a very big push to deflect and dodge and not admit that we're
Does that not tell you everything you need to know about the last 4 years before that? Like they're propping this asshole up, but like the other guy was Satan. Like, does that not tell you everything you need to know about the last guy?
On
Maybe
the same show again, Fox News is tearing apart Biden. So it's the same thing. It's just flipped. It's what always happens now. This is the new political world that media decides whether or not to side with one political party or another when they start, and then they just keep on, no matter what, no matter if they fall off a bike, fall up a stairs, slide down the rail, whatever they do. If they don't hold their wife's hand right, they talk.
So Fox News 100% is far more conservative, far more Republican than the others. But there is one news source of Fox News, and every other goddamn news source out there is this raging liberalism that is just ridiculous.
There's more conservative, well, maybe not mainstream, more conservative medias, but there's many conservative medias.
Maybe so Fox did.
Fox is the big one.
But Fox would do, like, when they disagreed with something that Trump would say, they blasted Trump. Fox.
They did a couple of times. It wasn't often, but a couple of times they did.
Biden doesn't know whether he's pitching or catching. Like today, he did an entire talk where he didn't blink.
That's okay. Are you kidding me? You're gonna
no, but like I'm serious.
Comment on his blinking. Who cares? Was it intelligent? Did he go off rambling about shoes or something?
Hang on.
No, I'm not hanging on. But anyway, so I get it. With the midterms, they're trying to deflect and hide and stuff like that. And also Biden's approval ratings going down. And
what is
if you go to Canada, I don't know, maybe Biden's getting a haircut.
Every day we're
pretty loud.
Hang on a second.
While he's doing this, we have a lovely woman, Hillary, joining us tomorrow night at 9 during our Thursday Night Live, which we always have a lovely guest. Don't press that yet. Hillary works in the business community, helping small businesses grow and become what they are. And she has also traveled extensively selling tools. She was a tool rep for quite a while where she'd sell tools. And
what is this?
I don't know. And she was on a show, a reality show about building things. And I'm not going to tell you much about that because when she comes, she'll tell us all about that. I'm looking forward to seeing her. I think Pat and her may argue a little tiny bit. Should be fun. I can't wait to just stand there and watch.
Cool.
But, anyway, that's Thursday night, 9 p.m. Please join us.
Dun, dun, dun.
Live.
Okay, so this is the Biden speech. Tell me if you think that Joe Biden looks well here.
Rely on law enforcement to save lives. Then on January 6th, we relied on law enforcement to save our democracy. We saw what happened. The Capitol Police, the DC Metropolitan Police, other law enforcement agencies were attacked and assaulted before our very eyes, speared, sprayed, stomped on, brutalized, and lives were lost.
What's he talking about?
3 hours. The defeated former president of the United States watched it all happen as he sat in the comfort of the private dining room next to the Oval Office. While he was doing that, brave law enforcement officer subject to the medieval hell for 3 hours, dripping in blood, surrounded by carnage, face to face with crazed mobs that believed the lies of the defeated president. The police were heroes that day.
He does not look good.
The courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that.
I don't think it matters that
he can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be
He hasn't blinked. What is he on?
There can be no greater responsibility than to do all we can
hasn't
to ensure
blinked.
the safety of our families, our children, our community, our nation, and our law enforcement officers.
Are you listening to his words?
100%. I've already listened to this.
Just as you do every single day as members of a critically important organization. May God bless you all. And may God protect law enforcement.
I think it's interesting that he's now supporting law enforcement.
Well, it's all bullshit. That's what I'm
When
saying.
central bank.
That's what I'm
We don't
saying.
need
It's
to
all
know about
bullshit.
central bank.
Sorry?
We don't need to know about central bank. They're not paying us either.
I'll tell
If
you.
they start paying us,
Yeah.
I'll wear the shirt. I'll wear.
I don't know, but like, do you think that Joe Biden looks well there?
No, but you remember a while back, I don't think we did it on air, but you and I were talking about how he mentioned that he has cancer or had cancer. It was unclear whether or not.
It was last week. He was at a
Yeah.
speech, and apparently, so White House backtracks and they said that he had a cancerous lesion removed, and that's what he was talking about, that he had cancer.
Okay. Yeah, no, I thought he was very coherent for a change, which was nice. Obviously, he was reading whatever. Maybe he got some contacts or something because he seems to be reading better. And I don't know. I thought he looked strong. I thought he looked good. Yeah. I get the no blinking. I understand the no blinking. Maybe he's on uppers or downers, but I thought it was a good speech. I thought it was interesting.
So your president is on something.
Well, I don't know. That was a joke. I'm not saying he was on something. He might have just been.
No, but like,
I got nothing. Have you
no,
watched?
but like, where is the media in their responsibility of going, yeah, no, that's weird. Like, Donald Trump farts funny, and it's mainstream everything for the next 6 months about he farted. He can't be the president of the United States.
You are not wrong.
Guy's standing there, and he's like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe he's on fucking meth." And you're like, "I don't know." But do you see how well he read? The double standard is insane. It's insane.
I am not saying that at times they were harsher on Trump than they have been on other presidents. You're absolutely right. I think Trump deserves some of the things that were said about him for sure. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that because I thought his words were good. I thought, he was talking about bravery, and I think that it was a good speech. One of the few that I've heard him say.
That he read on uppers.
Well, we don't know what was uppers. It could have been anything. It could have been just that he was told to keep his eyes open just before the speech. Maybe he's always like, we got to make sure you don't look ill. So he's like, I don't want to look ill. I don't know. You never know what they're told just before. Because they're coached, right?
Hang on.
They're constantly coached on their political presence. They're constantly, they have someone that talks to them and go, okay, you know how you always go like this every time? Stop doing that. That's not good.
No question, man. But when Donald Trump did something stupid, everyone was on him. And here you're literally making an excuses for a geriatric fuck standing there reading. You're like, look at his fucking speech that he just did. Wasn't it brilliant? And it's like, he had no part in that. He read it while stoned out of his fucking tree. And you're like, cool, man.
I don't think he was stoned. There's definitely something different about him. Yes, he seemed more on it. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure. I have no answer for you. But I thought it was a good speech. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I can admit that Trump sometimes made valid points, and sometimes he was just flat out nuts. But you can't seem to admit that anyone on the liberal side ever says anything good. So
is that speech supposed to be the one that I weigh it on?
Sure, go ahead. Weigh away.
Valor and determination are super important things that we should cherish in this country. Valor, determination. Wow, he did a really great job. Doesn't he look natural right there as a leader?
Was he wrong?
Determination. You can't.
Was he wrong?
Fuck, man.
Was he wrong? Was he wrong? Did he
No,
say anything stupid?
Speaking points, like there's nothing in 2022 that you're going to come up with that is relevant of individualized thought. It's all been said before.
He's kind of going against the liberal norm right now because they're,
he's talking to a union group, a policing union group. So he's talking to who the fuck he wants to talk to.
I see.
That's the point of liberals.
I see.
Fuck.
I see what you're saying.
Fuck.
Yeah. No, because that is definitely not the message. Well, it was the message actually up until was it January 6th? I can't remember. I should know this, but I'm tired. still recovering. But up until January 6th, it was police suck and we need to defund them and all that stuff, which I completely disagree with. Even being a liberal, I disagree with that. I think that they definitely need a restructure and a reworking, but they're brave and heroes as far as I'm concerned. But once January 6th happened, they all of a sudden did a 180 and were saying how brave and wonderful they are. And they keep on saying that anytime they talk about January 6th, which is just an interesting take when you were just bashing them for, was it a year and a half, something like that? Just everything they did was wrong. So right. I thought it was interesting that this little flip, when it's protecting them, not anyone else, it's just protecting them. And now there's valor and justice. But now that I know that it was in front of a police union, I understand that, because he's looking for votes for sure.
He's looking at something.
Yeah.
Looking for something. No, man, that's my problem with liberalism, right? But that's my problem with liberalism. That's why I very much do believe, to my heart of hearts, as a former liberal when I was young, is that liberalism it's a fucking cancer, because there is no truth in liberalism anymore.
Who did you vote for in Canada 2 elections ago?
Again, I'm 100%. I voted for Justin Trudeau a number of years ago, because when he came in, is that he was a centralist liberal. That's what he was bringing. And then weeks later, he comes in as when he takes over the cabinet, and he goes, hey, we're going to have a 50-50 gender cabinet. And I go, I'd settle for just fucking competent.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's a year, therefore, so we have to put 50-50. And
that was very embarrassing, I thought, for the women that were standing up there. I thought that he did them a big disservice. The answer that he should have gave when the reporter said, why do you have 50-50? The answer he should have gave is because I picked the most competent people for the job. That wasn't the answer he gave. The answer he gave was because it's 2017, I think it was. 15. Yeah, that was the answer he gave, because of a year. Because that we should have, and I'm not arguing with the fact that we should have equal representation of both females and males. What I'm saying is the way he answered that question was, they're just there because they're women. And that should never be the case. It should be they're competent. They were the best people for the job.
But my question goes back to stating,
in my opinion, they did a good job.
But they didn't. That's the problem, is that
they did. In fact, some of them went so far against them.
Done well for the last 10 years.
Some of them went so far against him and fought him and were removed from their position. That's how good of a job these women did. That's not that, like, that's them as individuals. That's not them as a government. I'm saying that the government of Canada has done the government of Canada has done a terrible job. But I'm talking, in this case, I'm talking about the women and how competent they are. That's what I was talking about. And I'm saying in that case, the women did actually try to hold him accountable for some of the stupid things he was doing.
And then what happened to them?
They were just evicted, because then it didn't matter that we had women.
Right? Jody Wilson-Raybould is one of the women that accused Trudeau of being misogynist and sexist, and she went, bye, gone. Nobody wanted her around. The liberal media just went like this: we're done with you.
Yep. You're not wrong.
It was over.
Totally
and that's
true.
What I'm saying is that's why I'm saying that I cannot say any more that liberalism is a disease, because it is an absolute cancerous lesion on truth. And when you have that, you can't have real dialogue, because one day she's a hero, the next day she's shit. And that's liberalism instead of truth.
It's not liberalism. That's the current government and the way it works. Liberalism hasn't always been like that. That's the current foundation that we have right now, because unfortunately we have a very weak leader who has put his hand in the cookie jar too many times. And whenever anyone gets near to calling him out, they're just thrown out of the government because people don't care, unfortunately. But I would argue that in conservative parties, they have the same. People are people. They have the same problems. There are people that are crazy in both parties that make huge mistakes and argue stupid things. And right now, I just wish everyone would get together, the conservatives, the liberals, the NDP, everybody, and go, you know what, Canada's hurting right now. The people of Canada need our help. Let's fucking stop arguing about this stupid shit and start making policies and changes that will help the people with what they actually need, and instead of all this other silliness that they don't, that eventually we'll need in times of good, in times of plenty. Let's start talking about all that other stuff. That stuff is important.
We
But right
clearly
our
just
homeless
need
population is unreal.
we clearly just need a Mattawa weekend for everybody.
That would change a lot. Yeah, changed my life. Yeah,
I believe it.
I was exhausted, but it changed my life. No, I'm just saying our fentanyl problem is worse than it ever was. Our homeless problem is just gaining and growing. Our division hasn't. I can't remember a time in the world where our division was so bad.
Liberalism.
It's unbelievable. I don't think it's just liberalism, because conservatives drive it too. It's a weird political scheme where division is what people run on now, instead of policy and procedures and change. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. And people vote for these people.
Media.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that. And so we're going to be poor. Our political sucks. And hold on to your money. Keep it safe. Keep it sacred, and wait for your moment, because it will happen. I've been watching all kinds of videos, like of rich billionaires and stuff talking about that, and just saying, if you're smart right now, you can make a lot of money. If you start a business that will succeed in this climate, you'll make a ton of money. There's opportunities to be made. You just got to be smart. You can't open up a McDonald's and hope you're going to make a ton of money. That's not how it works right now. Right now, you got to find that niche, find that interesting, unique thing that everyone needs, and flog that, or wait until things change and be there at the moment that they change, so you can jump on the wagon. That's what I've been hearing.
Yep. You don't have to time the bottom, but if you can utilize capital in ways during a recessionary time, every time the American economy is pulled back, and bet on Team America, because it will figure shit out. It's just right now, unfortunately, there is a ton of headwinds. And that's where we're getting back to what Fed Powell had said today, is that the interest rates seem like they're dialed to where they need to be.
Right.
The market kind of woke up to that today, saying that they're going to do what they said they're going to do, which is a good thing. The issue now is that what does a recession look like? And is it going to be a dark one, or is it going to be just a little one? And that's where right now we're meandering that to find out how that hits. But as of tomorrow, I think we're going to be in a true recession. The White House is going to do their spin, because the media is going to allow them to. That's how we got on that talk. Right. Yeah. And then that's where the bullshit begins. But today the market rallied impressively. I anticipate tomorrow the market will pull back, just because of the rally that we had today. So we'll get bad news tomorrow. The market will rally back. Yeah. Let me throw this up here real quick.
For sure.
Because I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to why I'm thinking that that you got a day or two left in this. So this is Bitcoin currently. Let me pull up my other stuff. So this is the NASDAQ, right? So these have been my areas to watch. These little hand drawings.
Yeah.
Let's go 6 months. Pull in here. So these have been my little hand drawings.
Mm-hmm.
This one here, this was the first two that I said. There's two ways this goes. It hit this and fell off. This one here is the second run, and the second run. It's either going to go high up, as it's literally following it, like predicted, and then we have the shorter one, which is underneath this, which is it's actually used as support here. But what I anticipate when we see this, let me kind of chart this out a little bit better so you can get a better angle on it, is this is the channel that we've been trading in, right?
Yeah.
Orange is the channel downward.
Yeah.
So we get support, we bounce off it. We get support, we bounce off it. We run up, we bounce off it. Now what we're doing is we're hitting this support over here. This was the resistance
Right.
before. We've hit now what's called a double top resistance. This should flush down into here. Okay. So this right now is on the 2-hour chart. Okay. So what I would anticipate is likely tomorrow when the Fed announces, you're going to see this pull back into probably in around here-ish. Like
Right.
this should be, let's do it. Paper trading. QQQ. So let's take a position here. We are going to short the market. You're going to follow with me. We are going to sell. Create new order. Paper trading is down. They're doing work on it. It did tell me that when I first came on here.
Oh. Well, then let's not do that. But so what you're anticipating is that right now the market's still volatile.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. We got it going here. There
Right.
was a thing. So this was where I see this coming up. So I had a buy order here previously, right? This is my stop loss and take profit. Where I figured what we're going to do is we're going to come up here. Probably, I don't think we're going to test all-time highs again. I think we likely run back up to here. I should really move this down to
Okay.
just there so that when we hit that tomorrow, and then take my $1 off of this. But let's do this. Let's do sell. We're going to short it. Okay. So I'm going to set this up right now. So I'm going to set this at here. I want it to click. So I'm going to set it just under the current price at 30.33. Okay. I'm going to set my stop loss up here because that's, if it runs up that high, that's insane. That would be all-time highs. I don't think we're going to get that. And then I'm going to get my take profit over the next, let's call it 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's try to hit tomorrow there. So that's going to be a price of $27.82 tomorrow for my take profit, or my stop loss is $5.17. So if the stock runs up, which I don't foresee it doing because we just had such big gains today, I see it likely pulling back. We have the purchase of the stock here.
Yeah.
It will run back down, hit my stop loss before bouncing. If it's going to continue, I don't think it will. I think it will continue down. I have a previous order in from here that currently is up. That is up 23 cents on a previous order.
Mm-hmm.
So its sell is up here, and its take profit is here, and its stop loss is here. So I've got two trades in, just for one share at least, just showing people how to do this.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what ends up coming out of it. But what I've done is I've boxed out my losses and my wins, right?
Yeah.
So I have a stop loss down here and a stop loss up here. So if it runs, I get stopped out. If it fades, I get stopped out. If it runs, I can take $1.14 off the table. If it falls, I take $2.51 off the table.
Right. And you can literally just walk away from this now, and it just does it, just runs it.
Either way, I'm going to be profitable.
Right.
Either way. It does not. At this point, I have boxed out this trade. I'm going to take X dollar off the table.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
interesting stuff. That's good.
There you go.
And this is all on your app.
So trading. So that's again, web-based service, free. Get it, check it out. It's fantastic for charting.
Mention Soaring Profits. Say when they ask.
Sure.
For other Soaring Profits. Keep on doing that.
Yep. Just type in Soaring Profits.
Type right in there. Yeah.
All day. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go because I feel like absolute garbage. So
I'm not feeling great myself. I think it's nighttime. Sorry, guys. I know we haven't been around a lot lately, but like I said, I've been busy, and Pat here has been not feeling the greatest. But we're still out there fighting the struggle, trying to get out content to you. I know Pat's going to start doing more videos in his truck. That's a thing, I'm pretty sure. And tomorrow night live, we got a bunch of lives coming up, some great lives every Thursday. We're booked all the way to the end of August already. with some great people that I hope you're going to enjoy. Last week's, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It was amazing. It was all a lot about nursing, really, and about what nurses are going through right now. Some really interesting stuff. A lot of stuff I didn't know about from a very eloquent woman who's quite bright, and I think you'd enjoy it if you go check it out last Thursday. That was Shannon, correct?
Nailed it.
Oh, good, because I'm bad with names already and I'm tired. Anyway, and tomorrow, Thursday night at 9, we'll have Hillary. Please like, subscribe, share, ring the bell, tell your friends. We could really use it. Get us out there, get us moving. You know, if you like what we do, comment, because really we're doing it for you people out there, and we really like to see the sport. Thank you so much.
And it's totally not our egos wanting to do this.
Not our egos. Let's heal our minds, bodies, and souls.